Waterfalls. How you doing tonight? Happy Sunday night to you. This is Duchess DJ Love, Gallivanting Like a Royal, coming to you to say hello. And if you remember, we had a special guest, Austin James Haines, on my first show. And we're going to have him back tonight to give us a recap on his experience to Costa Rica, what he learned, what he liked, just give us some feedback on the international travel, if there were any flight delays, anything like that. That's what we're going to be looking for and just seeing what happens. Again, I'm Duchess DJ Love, and you're on my Gallivanting Like a Royal show. And just to give you some pointers on, as I do these, I learn and grow. And some of the things I find out is I'm still learning the StreamYard technology, how to make it look good, how do you have the banners at the top, how when you show a flyer or an overlay or a video, how all of that intertwines. Those are just some of the things that I'm learning as we go. And so I change it up some, to try to get it to work. And that's, what I'm trying to do is to make it work for you guys. Hello, Austin. I see you. Oh, looking good. Well, thank you. You're supposed to be joining me here, Mr. Austin. But again, back to my tips. I'm still learning how to make everything work. Let's see here. Give me just a moment here. Let me show you a quick video. Actually, let me not show you a quick video. I'm trying to get Austin on here, and he's needing the link. And again, I'm trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. So sometimes it works for me, and sometimes it doesn't. See, this is a learning experience for all of us. Also, see if you can get it in the private chat. Welcome, Austin. So glad you could make it tonight. I wanted to give you a proper introduction. I wanted everybody to know how grateful I am to you, because if I hadn't met you in Phoenix at the Eckhart Tolle event, I'm not sure all this would have transpired for me right now.
No, it probably.
So I'm grateful for divine connections. I'm grateful for you. And the fact that you went to Costa Rica, one of my favorite places, that's just a blessing.
It's one of my favorite places too. I still have the hat on here. I didn't mention that.
Yes, I see the hat.
And it's such I know people talk about places they go to. Oh, it was great. It is, and they are. I'm not, but Costa Rica there's just something about it. And the pura vida, pure life is real. I wasn't looking for that. I heard people say it. I walk away feeling it. DJ, and I do have some video to share. Any questions? I want to just serve your audience, anybody that's joining. I do need to disappear for like 2 minutes, but I'm here. You have me for the full, however long it takes. We want to give people that insight. If you want to be in Costa Rica, if you've watched DJ's content before, if you know her personally, she's been there, and I know she's talked about it because it's special.
Well, I'll remove you for a quick moment, Austin, and I'll do a little talking, and then I'll bring you back.
Perfect.
Again, audience, I'm trying some new technology, and I hear a little echo there. So I've got to figure out what's causing these echoes. But I'm learning. It's a growing process. And just to show you, my book, Travel To, is available currently on Amazon.com. And a slightly different cover is going to be available at Barnes & Noble's bookstore, where you can actually go pick it up, flip through it, get some travel tips, some inspiration, quotes, thoughts to ponder, and some tips to help you actually have a better life, but especially with travel, because for me, travel is my escape route. It's where I go. It gives me energy. it makes me feel good. And I like to share travel tips with people because I want everybody to travel. I think we all should. You know, we're here to help one another. That's our purpose in life, is to be a blessing so we can be a blessing to others. And getting back to some of those lessons I learned how to do graphics. I'm not a graphics expert until a couple of weeks ago. I didn't really understand what graphics were. So I'm learning how to create my own graphics, my own video clips. So this is some new things that I'm learning. This is a growth experience. And it seems like whenever I plan to go live, something goes wrong. I just don't, know what it is, but that's just life for us sometimes. So while we're on, if there's any technical glitches or there's a black screen that pops up, just take a moment to pause and breathe, because I sponsor Austin Show, The Power of Pure Presence. So, if there's any technical glitches or any unplanned things, let's just take a moment to take a deep breath, pause, breathe, and nothing else, just stretch up, and just relax a little bit, unwind, that kind of thing. Because this is what this is about, to live a royal life, and we're all royals. And we don't have to be born into the so-called royal family. We're royals in our own right. So just remember that. And I want everyone to know that I love you. Again, I'm Duchess DJ Love, and you're on my Gallivanting Like a Royal show. So thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And I think I have Austin back now. Okay, Austin, you're back.
Great to see you. I want to jump in if I can, DJ. Is that okay?
Please jump in. I want to hear all about your experience.
Well, before I do, I think you're bringing up a good point, because I want to give you a lot of credit. It takes a lot of courage to come on and do these shows. If you knew how much there was behind the scenes, it's a lot. But here's what's great. It correlates to travel so very well. And I'll start this off, because my way home from Costa Rica to here, I live right outside of Philadelphia in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It wasn't smooth, as we want everything to go smooth. And as is with travel, it's not always smooth. And I know, DJ, you talk about this. You give lots of tips in your book, Traveltude, to help people have a better experience, to give them some tips and ideas so they can prepare ahead. But here's what happened. I'll share this story. I am slated to leave. It was a red eye. It was a 2:30 a.m. flight on Saturday. So we trekked Friday, to get to the airport. And then we find out, the flight is delayed. Now I have a connecting flight. So I fly from San Jose to Fort Lauderdale. And then from Fort Lauderdale, I get on a plane that flies from Fort Lauderdale to Philadelphia. That was the plan. I was going to be home by 10 a.m. Saturday morning. But guess what? That didn't happen. What happened was the 2:30 flight got pushed to 3:30, which in reality was like 4 a.m. Now I'm facing to miss my connecting flight. Spirit Airlines sends me a notification. We've moved your flight to 9:40 p.m. on Saturday, which means you'll get home at 12:19 a.m. Sunday. Now, it's important to point out that I didn't really sleep. I want to say it was over 40 hours, and I had maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep, somewhere in it, probably like 2. And now this extra delay, it's incredible. I ended up, well, here's why it's a blessing. And this is really when you open up to the things that don't go well. And I'll just share this with what happened. I was getting off the plane, realizing it was changed. I asked some staff, what can I do? What can I do? Because in this moment, I'm like, I want to get home. I'm sleepy. It's this challenging part of travel. So I end up getting off the plane, getting through customs. They say, go to this line. And I'd heard there's like a 6 o'clock flight or something. So my plan of action is to go to Spirit and say, my flight got delayed. I want whatever. But the airport was jammed with people. I mean, it's like everybody came to the airport. It's Fort Lauderdale, it's Florida, it's winter. It's a busy airport. I get to the line, DJ, And is it a short line? No, it's not a short line. It's a long line. And more importantly, it's not moving. It's like stuck. It's not moving. So now I'm in this line and I'm looking around. I'm scoping the people out. And so maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I say to myself, what am I doing? Why am I sitting here? So I'm going to wait through and even if it was only like an hour, like I say, I'm going to get to the desk. I'm going to plead my case for them to tell me there's nothing we can do. So I said, why not? This is like being power. This is, power of pure presence. Let the moment speak to you. Get out of your head. And I said, you know what I did? There you go. Get free, stay present, move forward. I literally looked around, picked up my bag. I walked out the door. I said, I'm out of here. I'm going to go enjoy myself in Florida. And it gets even better. I'm like, where's the coffee shop? I figured I use coffee shops wherever I go. I want to find the coffee shop. I'm not a big drinker. I don't go to bars. Go to the coffee shop, get some work done, get settled, figure out my plan for the day. I like to go to local coffee shops. As I know, you like to find, okay, that homey place where you can sit, talk to people. But I didn't find that. I ordered up an Uber. It was $13. And this is actually, I'm sure you talk about this because this is a good lesson. It was a $13 Uber to get to a coffee shop that ended up being a takeout place. It wasn't even really a legit coffee shop. It was like some kind of fusion place. And by the way, DJ, it's like 50 degrees with a wind chill in Florida. So it's 50, add the wind chill. It was probably felt like 40. But there was enough sun, right? It's Florida. There's enough sun. You definitely feel the heat. So it wasn't, by Florida standards, very cold.
That was cold. That's wintertime. Yes.
Yeah. But here in the Northeast where I'm from, like we'll take that day every day of the week, sunny in the 50s, give it to me. But in Florida, cold. So I end up walking. I said, let me do a Starbucks instead. So I Google a Starbucks. It's about a mile away. I'm like, let's go. So I'm just going to walk. I don't want to pay for the Uber and I want to get exercise. I've been on planes and airports. I'm like, let me just get out and breathe the fresh air. I get to the Starbucks, nice section right across the street. I can't even say, I'll have to dig it up. Tuskegee Youngie Park. And I'll dig up the pronunciation. This beautiful private park right across the street and huge around a lake, all different things. And it's $1.50 to walk up and enter the park. So I spend my time at Starbucks getting caught up. I go over to the park. I have an amazing 3 hours. I literally, because it's colder, the bugs are down. I filmed a whole nother episode of Power of Pure Presence. I fell asleep on the riverbank. Not long, but it was maybe like 10, 20 minutes. I just felt pure bliss. I mean, pure power of pure presence. And I wasn't in Costa Rica. I was in Florida, in Hollywood, unexpected, unplanned. And I had this miracle moment. And oh, by the way, I didn't know this, but where I was walking around the lake and they have these pavilions that they rent out. And as I'm like doing my walk around the lake, there's a wedding going on. So I sit right on the bank. There's this like rock. I sit there. I'm recording Power of Pure Presence. And there's a couple reciting their vows in the background. This is the scene that I'm in. And I'm like a movie,
Love will find you.
What?
I said, love will find you.
It was beautiful. And it was, I think it was like a Catholic, Christian, and Jewish wedding because they did like the biblical vows, like love is patient, love is kind, it does not boast. And then they did the breaking of the glass,
Yep.
So it was a Christian Jewish wedding. And it was amazing. Like it was amazing to be here, unexpected. And then here's where it gets even better. I'm thinking, I'm not doing an Uber. I want to go to the beach. And by the way, do we have any people chatting, DJ? I'd love to hear people's comments of have you had an unexpected?
We had one person to say hello.
Hello, and I'm going to share this. I did share it on my Facebook page, but I'll make sure I do it again because, people love to travel. We might be competing with the NFL. I don't know. But I get back
It
in.
is football, and my guy Tom Brady plays tomorrow night, and they
That's
play in the
right.
Cowboys.
Oh, I know. How about that? That makes for an interesting rival. Wow. Anyway, back to the story. I think I don't want to get Uber. So I start looking up public transportation. I find out there's a transit bus that runs from where my location, literally right across the street from where I was located, to the beach. And it's $2. I wait for the bus. It gets even better, DJ. It gets even better. I take the bus to the beach. Now remember, it's cold.
Yeah.
The water temp 76, the air temp is 50 plus wind chill. But I get to the beach and I'm like, I know I got about maybe 40 minutes of sunlight. I'm like, I'm going in. So I go into the bathroom, get changed. I jump in the ocean, record the whole thing. And just, again, just pure magic of living in the moment. I realized I talked to the previous bus driver. Can I get to the airport from here? And he says, yes, you take this bus to the one north. So there was another bus I had to take to get to this other depot, and then that bus would run me to the airport. Each bus ride is $2. Here's the little asterisk, is good to know. You have to have exact change. So now I get on the second bus, I don't have exact change. I talked to the bus driver to take credit. He's like, no. He's like, he was kind of like half frustrated, but like, yeah, go ahead. So I got to do the second bus ride for free.
They call us tourists that don't know what's going on.
That's right. So, but it worked out in my favor. I mean, I guess he figured I was sincere, which I was. And I get to this other area and there's a gas station there. I go in, I get change, wait for the other bus, $2, boom, right to the airport, $4. Beach to the airport. And again, this is all stuff that if you plan, you listen to DJ's tips, you'll know, but being inconvenienced, not knowing travel the way like DJ does, I was kind of just forced to find this out on my own. And I'm not somebody who typically relies on public transportation, but doing some research, there's times it's extremely valuable. In this case, I couldn't have had it work out any better, the second half of it anyway. So your thoughts, DJ? You're on mute. You're on mute.
You made I'm trying to figure out how to make this not echo.
Yeah, echo go away. You got two windows open?
Yeah.
We'll just turn the other one off for now.
Okay. Still not.
Well, you know what? That's okay. It happens. Maybe I can mute myself. Okay. Or I can just keep talking. So the point here is, be in the moment when you travel. Yes, mind your P's and Q's, but avoid making like quick decisions. Because I did make a quick decision getting to this coffee shop because I was like, I just wanted to get out of the airport, but it worked out. It worked out well for me. And granted, it ended up being a nice area from where I landed, which was great. But if you're a single traveler, you're a solo woman traveler, you definitely want to take more precaution before you make a move like that, before you just go anywhere. But
also what I was going to say about that is I think that is a wonderful thing. That's what I talk about is, since COVID, we have a lot more flight delays. We have a lot more, disruptions in air travel due to whatever reason. So you're stuck in the airport. Either you can go in the airport lounge and work if you have something to work on, but you did the right thing. You had a full day to explore. Like you said, you traveled light, so you didn't have to worry about luggage and security and all that. You could go out and, you hadn't been to Hollywood before, correct?
I've never been to Hollywood, Florida.
So see, you got to go experience another place that you haven't visited before. So again, this is a new experience. This opens you up. Again, my quote is traveling opens doors that you didn't know needed opening. And so you explored, you made the best of I wouldn't say bad situation, but unfortunate situation. And I was proud of you because you jumped in the ocean. If you would like to tell the audience what you did on New Year's Day, I mean, this is kind of relevant.
Yeah, I ended up, this is another thing. It seems like the more I share power of pure presence with the world and living in the moment, the more miracles open up for me. And maybe that's the one thing that people walk away with. I'm consistently doing like self-reflection to see what are people getting from what I'm doing? How are they getting served the most? And in the meantime, it is serving me as well. And what happened was we filmed. You were there in Power of Pure Presence, New Year's Day. One of the things I did even before I had Power of Pure Presence was to drive to the beach, get the first sunset here up in New Jersey. So I'm right outside of Philadelphia, New Jersey. It's winter time here. We get snow. Sometimes we get a lot of snow, but it seems to not stick around as much. But anyway, this was going to be a fairly decent day on January 1st. So I drove to the beach. We had some things planned for the Power of Pure Presence show. And now it's important to note that maybe a month or two prior, I had been talking. I read a book. I don't think I have it here. I may have it somewhere. If I can, maybe I can dig up this book. I'm into running, so it's a running book. And a guy by the name of Amby Burfoot was like a record marathon holder or something. He talked about how every year they do a 5K and jump in the ocean. I thought, wow, and they're in Massachusetts. I thought, wow, that'd be neat to do that. I would be really cool. So I was just reflecting on it. And maybe I reflected on it a few different times. I share it with my friends. But then I was like, I got the show to do. I just kind of put it out of my mind. But I drove to Ocean City, New Jersey to record the show, captured the first sunset. After I'm done the show, I see all this commotion on the boardwalk. And what do I find out? There's a 5K
and a polar plunge.
A polar plunge. And I thought, there it is again, being in the moment. So I immediately, now I registered. Now I didn't have shorts. Right. I didn't bring the proper, I didn't bring my normal running shoes, and I didn't have shorts. However, there was some stores open because it was gonna get into the 50s that day with sun, kind of like it was in Florida and Hollywood. There was one radical difference, which I'll get to in a moment. But I was able to get the shorts, did the 5K, and then the polar plunge. Now, in Hollywood, the water temp was 76. That was yesterday. I was in the ocean yesterday in Hollywood, 76. In New Jersey, Ocean City on January 1st, 42 degrees. Wow. The ocean temp was 42 degrees. And I'm telling you, it was cold. So that was my first legit polar plunge. And that was 42 degrees. So Florida, 76. But they both were cold because when I went in,
the water might have been warmer, but the air temperature was colder. So when you jump into cold water, warm temperature, you coming out, it's a little different, because you think about it, you would prefer the warmer water, which actually you need the warmer air, because when you come out of that water, your body's in a chill mode.
That's correct. And not to mention in Florida, it was windy. Like it was really windy. So I didn't have a lot of time. I was, I'm very conscious of that. I'm like, I got to get out of these wet clothes and get changed. And people probably thought this guy's nuts. They probably were looking at me like, what's this? Because you're here in Florida. They're not jumping in the water. They're like, it's winter. They're bundled up wearing hats and stuff.
Yes.
Here's this guy jumping in the ocean. But we say
that's the Northerners coming down. Y'all used to the cold weather. So when we go to Florida, and we have to wear a jacket, it's like, woo.
Right. Hola, Nilda. Welcome to the show. Yeah, it was amazing, DJ. And I'm still processing everything. Like these things, being in Costa Rica, even though I was only there for 5 days, it's life-changing. There's no question about it. It is a life-changing experience.
Well, Austin, you said this was your first time to Costa Rica. So when you landed at the airport, what did you think about it? I mean, what were your initial thoughts when you landed, your feet were on, the ground in Costa Rica? I mean, how did you feel? What was going through your mind?
Well, the first thing I love about, not in the United States, but if you go to different parts of the world, Europe or Central America, I love the fact that people clap when they land. I love that. And I'll tell you why. And this is the one thing that I will remind myself, you of, is when I get on a plane and I fly somewhere, I am in a constant state of amazement.
Yes.
I am always amazed every single time. And in this case, I had 2 flights. They were broken up. But if you take it in, it's about maybe 5 hours of flying,
Right.
plus or minus. And then we did have a trek by car, but it's broken up. If you had to sit on a plane for 8, 9 hours, like going to Europe or something like that, that is a long time.
Long trip.
But when you can break it up into threes and you're in a one of the most beautiful places on earth,
Yes.
it was just great to land and get into the smaller airport, more of a homey feel. They've built it up though, DJ. Actually, Tim, he didn't recognize because they're pouring some money into the infrastructure of the airport for the tourism, because tourism is going to continue to grow there. I mean, there's no question in my mind. It's going to excel.
That's their major source of income is on tourism, and that's how come Costa Rica tries to make it so easy for anyone to come and visit, because they're proud of their country. They're proud of their natural resources. They're proud of that pura vida lifestyle that they have. I mean, you talking about patriotic to their country. These people truly love their country and they value it and they want it to be the best thing there is. And when you come, they show you the love. I mean, you want to talk about love? They give you love.
They really do. I felt it. Like, I want to go back, and I'm excited for the retreat. And I'll tell you but I got, it's interesting, like you said, and this, like what it's like life, it's like travel. Your expectations are not met. They're exceeded, they're changed, they're altered, and life pours in, love pours in, new experience pour in. DJ, you talk about this and you know it all too well. And and I think that's why travel is such a beautiful gift. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you've done it like DJ 1,000 times, or you're just doing it for the first time. DJ will travel and something, it'll be the same thing. It never gets old. And there's always unexpected, and you're always tested, and you're always left better for having taken the trip and then not going at all.
That is so true, Austin, because I travel around the United States over and over and over. And even though I may see the exact, like going to the Grand Canyon, every time I see the Grand Canyon, I'm just still in awe. It's like that very first time, even though I've seen it and photographed it year after year after year, but when I see it again, it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe we have this natural wonder here. Or whenever I just go to anywhere, a regular park, I go to Eagle Mountain Park to hike here in Fort Worth, because we don't have mountains. We're not really close to the water. So we got this little foothill. So that's a big deal to go to Eagle Mountain Park and hike. So whenever I go, I'm so excited. And I love the wildlife that you see, the nature, just walking through it. I can be in a really bad mood, which is rare, but I can be in one. Or I've had a stressful day, and we all have stressful lives from time to time. Just walking out there in that nature, you give me 30 minutes of that and I come back, it's like I'm a fresh person. I'm like, I'm ready to go again. My mood has changed. And that's the power of pure presence, but it's also the power of traveling. Take a different life, get out of your comfort zone, do something different, pause and breathe and experience what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I want to give my friend Tim a shout out here in a moment, but let me just share this. There's a quote, DJ. It says, "No man ever steps in the same river twice."
That's true.
For it is not the same river, and he is not the same man. And that's Marcus Aurelius' favorite poet, Heraclitus. Heraclitus said that, and that is true with travel. You could have been there, changes, and I do that locally. So I think the thing that I want to impart to people was, in my journey to grow and write these books and to seek experiences that are going to open people up. I started here. I started to, there's acres of diamonds in our own backyard. And if you don't have the resources to travel around the world, take a vacation in your own area. You'll be amazed what you find. I am still amazed. I still dig things up in my own geography on a consistent basis that I didn't know were there, because I'm willing to go out. I'm willing to be curious. I'm willing to treat, not all the time. I'm like you, I get in my modes and I forget, but there's an opening. I don't ever forget. Once your mind expands, it'll never go back to the same thing. Right. That was Henry David Thoreau. I think he said that. I'll dig that up.
You have to look that up. Yeah.
Not Einstein. People quote Einstein, but it's not. It's. I think it's Henry David Thoreau. But anyway, that's the point of this: is that you can start right where you are and do this. I want to give Tim, my friend Tim, a shout out because
Hey, Tim.
I don't know if he's watching, but we did the
I gave him a royal wave.
There you go. We did the National Arenal Volcano Park or National Park.
Arenal Park?
Arenal Volcano Park. Anyway, and Tim had an experience. He'd never been there. And that's my thing. Like I go to these places because I know what they do.
Yes.
And this was, I mean, we probably could share some video. I'm sure I have some somewhere, but I could actually upload that. But we stood up on this lava peak and we just hung out there. And here's the thing, like when I travel to places, and a lot of people do this, they come up, they look, and they leave. I'm like, no. I'm going to stay here as long as my schedule will allow. And that's what we did. We just hung out and one of the things that really, I got chills just thinking about, I got chills because part of Power of Pure Presence was to go to places that are the most quiet places in the US. And it suddenly, it dawned on me there, like I'm here, like I'm not in the US, but I'm in this place where you don't hear trucks, planes, all you hear is nature. Like that's it.
It's one of the happiest countries in the world. I mean, so that tells you a lot about the people there too and the culture.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. So I guess that's a big draw. And like I say, the national parks that they have there are phenomenal. But I think what draws people is the peace. We work, we stress ourselves out. So when you go to Costa Rica, everything slows down. So if you go order something, you can't expect them just to run right over like they do here in America, serve you and be quick about it. They call it Tico time. And that means they take their time. They're not in any rush. You just got to relax. And that's kind of what it said. We're not going to be stressed out to take care of you. We're going to take a lunch here. It may take an hour. It may take 2.5 hours there. And they believe in siestas, closing things down for a couple hours and relaxing during the day.
Yeah, it was Ralph. By the way, it was Ralph Waldo Emerson. I knew it was Ralph Waldo Emerson. But no, you're spot on, and it's really I am, like I said, I barely scratched the surface. I mean, I didn't even scratch the surface. I didn't even scratch the surface of this place, and I love nature. I love being out in nature, and even the time I was there, it just spoke to me. It absolutely spoke to me because there's so much of it that is untouched by man. Yes, a fiesta. Well, there was not enough siesta in my fiesta, truthfully, but I did fall asleep in Florida on the riverbank. But when we were hiking, I mentioned this. I smelled this because I have really good sensory acuity, and then I immediately look over and there's 2 wild boars, maybe like 10 feet from us. However, because we were on a manicured trail through the jungle, the jungle to where they were, it was pretty dense. So matter of fact, I don't have a clear shot. Like you might be able to see them in the brush, but still very close. And one of them was grunting, but they didn't seem to be like aggressive. They just kind of were on alert, and we just kept walking. That was it. You don't want to hang around, it's just keep going, and we saw a lemur, lots of birds, just nature just speaks to you. It speaks to me there. I know that. And I know for the retreat, we're going to get a good amount of that. It's going to change people's lives. There's no question.
Austin, will you tell us a little bit La Fortuna? That means the fortunate town. Do you know why it's called the fortunate town? Did you learn that while you were there?
No, I did not learn that. I would love to hear that.
Okay. Well, again, Arenal Volcano, that's the town around it. When it erupted, the lava flow went west and not east. So therefore it was called La Fortuna, because that town was not destroyed when the volcano erupted.
Beautiful facts. Great to know. That's the one thing I did not know. I did not know that. I'm glad you shared that with me. So there you go.
I would like for you to share a little bit about what you thought about La Fortuna. Like I say, it's a very small town, but it has a lot going on in it. And I'm thinking, didn't you say you got some cute little turtles and birds?
Yeah, I do.
Well, tell us a
that?
little bit about what you thought of La Fortuna, because that's where most people go to do their tours and their activities, and they explore out, but that's kind of like home base.
When I first got there, I was unimpressed. Not unimpressed aesthetically. Let me put it that way. Unimpressed aesthetically.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize the depth of it either at first glance, which makes it even more appealing. Having spent the time there, there is a lot of tourism happening, but by US standards, it could be a town in anywhere America, a small little town in anywhere America. But it has a charm that I can't even put it into words. You have to experience it to fully understand it. And I made a local friend. Do you want me to share that? Let me see if I can dig that up.
Yes, I would love for you to share that.
Yeah, here we go. You may have to remove us. I don't know if you want to.
Okay.
Do you want to do that, or you want me to just share it?
Yeah, I'll remove us.
Muy bueno, Mario. That's Mario, who's also the name of a good friend of mine. I know you know Mario as well. You know his backstory, but made friends with him. Bought. Yes, here we go. I can do this real time.
Very impressive.
I'm not as good as Mario, but ended up purchasing one of these from him, and I have a turtle as well. He sells, and these are all DJ can fill you in on how these are all.
These are Tico wood, and this is how the locals make money. They'll go in to take a bus, a couple hours into La Fortuna, and these are what they will sell. They make them handmade out of Tico wood to sell for tourism. That's how they feed their families.
Yeah. So
and they're neat. They play. It's like a flute. It's got different sounds. There's like 5 different animals on that one that Austin's got.
Yeah, it's got a.
I forgot what you call that kind of bird.
Toucan.
Toucan.
A fox.
The fox. The starfish.
Yep. The elephant.
The elephant.
Yep. Oops, there we go. Elephant. And there's a bunch of other things on here that I don't even. There's a starfish, I believe.
Yes.
And it's very unique. It's one of those things that you can't just order up on Amazon, you know.
That's true.
Be there and experience it. And he was just he was just great. And it's like, if I go back there, I mean, he's like your friend, you know, he's just a genuine. And it's funny because like my friend Tim was like, because every time you hear him, he plays Smoke on the Water. And then he plays The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I can't play. Can't play it now anyway. Maybe I'll learn it. But yeah, really interesting local guy. So the town is remarkable. It's probably not the number one place that a person going to Costa Rica would go on their first trip because they want to go to the coast. And that's why I loved it even more. And I love the beach, but there's like, if I can get to lakes and mountains and valleys, I'm going to go there first because of the nature element and the ability to hike. You know, those places I resonate with deeply. That was good. Thanks, Anilda. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll get Mario to give me some lessons, and maybe I'll do a better job next time. But let me share that. And well, I want to keep talking about La Fortuna, but I just want to let people know that the retreat, it is actually going to be. We're thinking about another destination in Costa Rica because it's more secluded and it has beauty, and that will probably be my next trip. But La Fortuna, but just being there, yeah, I put a smile on my face. I mean, Pura Vida, I'm changed. Like I definitely changed forever. Like just fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, I can relate to you when you first saw La Fortuna not being impressed, because my first trip when I went to Costa Rica, while there, I enjoyed it and everything, but I didn't actually appreciate it and see the value of it until I returned back to the States. And then it's like a light bulb went off. I mean, like my flashpoint, it's like you're in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and you didn't take advantage of the opportunities that was available to you. So that's how come I've gone back so many times, is because each time I go back, there's a new appreciation for it. In case the audience doesn't know, I also go to Costa Rica and do mission trips. The Costa Rican people have a special place in my heart. So I want to go and really help them. I work to serve them. And I really get to experience the rural areas where there's not much going on and it's very low income. And it's just a blessing to be around the people, to hear their spirits and how grateful they are just for life. I mean, things that we take for granted is a luxury item to them. And so it's a whole way of looking at things a little differently.
It is. And I think that there's a number of downloads that I received. And one of them, it resonates with Power of Pure Presence, is that for the most part, they live more intentional lives for the most part, especially when you go in the rural areas. And I think of it this way, and the way my brain connects dots, there's a couple things that are really intriguing to me. With the volcanoes, it's a younger body of land. Think about it. It's a burgeoning body of land. And United States, who knows? I'm not a whatever. I don't study this, but maybe that's what we were at some point, with volcano, right? Because the land had to form. And anyway, the other thing I thought about was, it's kind of like, if we could go back in time, if we could miraculously go back to the 1700s here, when you had these little towns that would blossom, life was more simplistic, and the farm was real close, just outside of the town. The butcher was there. All the things were right there that you would need.
Easy accessible.
Easy, right? It's almost like you're kind of, in some sense, not all, because there's still tools, but in some sense, you feel like you were transported back in time, where life was more intentional and pure, where you didn't take things for granted because you can get them so quickly. And while there's benefits to that, we got to be conscious not to lose those things. And I think that's why Costa Rica is one of the reasons why Costa Rica is so attractive. It's because there is that, you feel that intentionality of the people. They don't take things for granted. They have the nature element to it. They have the beauty. When you put all this together, you have the makeup of a very attractive place that, and as I left there, I just, I wanted to stay, evolve intentionally so that it doesn't lose that, because it is a beautiful place. It really is.
So what was your favorite, thing that you enjoyed while you were in Costa Rica? Surely there was something that stood out that you were not expecting, that just kind of gave you one of those wow moments.
the nature part is always going to be my thing. And I
Right.
got to experience nature that I've never experienced before, number one. But the most unique thing that happened was being in the Tabacan River that's heated by the Arenal volcano.
Yeah.
That was a cold river. Tabacan River was a cold river. And I think it was the eruption in the 90s, 92, where
Been pretty recent.
of course, the topography changed and the river somehow touches the volcano because the volcano is still alive. And the water's heated and then it flows out. It creates a natural hot tub. We went right after sunset. The cars are there. There must have been over 100 people there, but I couldn't, maybe like 50 in our general vicinity, maybe somewhere around 30, 40, somewhere
Right.
spread out. It's dark. There's an overpass. There's a street light above where we had this residual light like coming through the trees, and I have some video of this. And we're just sitting in this hot river. Like it's surreal. Like you just knew something special was happening because this is not something you're going to do in the Northeast or in the States. And it happened there. And I was telling DJ, I think I was telling you, DJ, like, but was great. Well, first of all, we found this little spot. There's all these little spots, and we had this little spot.
Hidden gems.
Put like this little pool where the water's rushing on the one side, and there's this little cutout. We're sitting there, and then you go down up a little bit on the other side of the overpass, and there's a waterfall cascading, so you can get under that. So it's almost like it's the most incredible hot tub you'll ever experience because it's natural. So this water's like cascading over you, loaded with minerals. And then as we're leaving, again, surreal. We're walking out of the water, and there's the overpass where the water's rushing through underneath, and it's not deep. So it's because it's almost like a sheet of water rushing really fast. This little family of raccoons, they must have gotten sidetracked because of all the people, and they went right underneath the overpass, right in front of us. Literally walked right in front of us, which was just a magical experience. Really incredible.
Well, what about the food? Because when I was there, all the food is fresh. It's not, shipped in or manufactured. It's like everything is local. They cook what they have close by. It's, like I say, you related to that about, back in the old days when the farm was just like right close to the city. You just went and got everything fresh. Costa Rica has really fresh food. And what did you think of the food?
I thought the food was delicious. The food that I had. The one thing that I think it's important when you travel to don't just go with the first option. Give yourself 3 options, like anything in life. Because I made a mistake. But my first day there, we got there at night, so I couldn't really see as much. And then the next morning I got up and I just walked because I like to go on foot or bike because I want to see. And I walked into town, not really knowing the depth of the town or what was there. And I was looking for a coffee shop again. I find this coffee shop on the corner, and because I didn't know any better, I went into it. And because it's Costa Rica. I mean, they got great coffee there. Like I'm expecting amazing coffee. And unbeknownst to me, I'm like, they had like one of those Nescafe machines in this bakery. And they had these baked goods in there, which, I just made a mistake with that. But then once I finally found this incredible coffee shop. Matter of fact, I also recorded, let me see if I can dig this up, where you go into the one, which is unique to Costa Rica. And you probably have seen this, where they put this, it's like put the coffee in a bag. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And then I was trying to figure that out. It looks like they half brew some of the coffee, and then they put more coffee in this like bag and they pour it through, and then it goes through this bag into your almost like a what do you call it? A pour over, but a little different because you have this.
It's kind of like a tea process because they're big on shipping tea over to London, to England. So they use that same process for the coffee. And
Yes.
they do have coffee farms when you go to Costa Rica that you can tour, and they let you sample the coffee. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I actually enjoyed that coffee tour. I learned a lot, and I sampled some coffee that, hey, chocolate coffee don't taste so bad.
It's not so bad. And they what else they have, which is I love, is the cacao bean, right? I guess I didn't record it, but I have a photo here. I can, if I send it to you, were you able to pull it up there?
I don't know. Can you?
I can do it. I'll do it. I can probably
and
share
just let you
yeah.
know, Austin's more experienced at this TV stuff and using StreamYard. He's allowed me to help him in the green room of the Power of Pure Presence so I can get some experience before I started my shows. And granted, that's been invaluable, but at the same time, you don't realize what all you need to know until it's yours and you're doing it all by yourself. And it's like all these things, how do I make them work?
I just put it in there so you can share it. You just hit.
Okay, I'm going to remove us then, Austin.
I don't know if you have to. You might just be able to share it.
Let me see if I can share it in.
There you go. See, there's the they have the coffee in the bag there, and then they bring out, it's like hot. It looks like a teapot, and it's got like, I want to say it's like half brewed coffee in there or something. I don't know how they do it, but then he pours it through more coffee, and then it goes into here. And so I started, the coffee experience got a little better because I like drinking black coffee in the morning. And yeah, it was cool. This was called the Rainforest Cafe. Rainforest Cafe. So yeah.
Okay, Austin, I have a few more questions for you.
Go for it.
Trying to get the best layout. I want you to be in the spotlight.
All good.
While you were in Costa Rica, did anything stand out to you that you was not expecting? You know, you were expecting the nature, the wildlife, that kind of thing. But was there anything that caught you by surprise?
That's a good question. Really good question. I would say the amount of vehicles and roads.
There's not. Most people in Costa Rica don't have the luxury of owning their own personal vehicle. So most of the vehicles are tourists that rent those at the airports to get around.
And there are a lot of commercial trucks.
Yes.
That are running food supply chains up and down the road. You know, that was a surprise because again, I'm thinking there's going to be dirt roads, and I know there's part of Costa Rica where that's real, but where we were, the highways were mostly good. Although, anyway, long story short, we ended up traveling to La Fortuna at night, rain and fog.
Yes.
And that was a little daunting because I don't know I was driving at that time. And then I drove for whatever, just to kind of take off, to share some of the load. And then Tim took over. So we got there, and we drove out of that, thank goodness. But,
well, that's something that happens. That's another tip for Costa Rica too, is they get a lot of rain. Therefore they have mudslides. So if there's a lot of heavy rain, no matter when it is, it will shut down some of the highways. So then you have to allow time to take the detours. And since it is mountainous, there's not a lot of direct roads. So it may take you several hours to get somewhere that would really take you 40 minutes. But due to the fact the road's been washed out and they hadn't had a chance to repair it, you have to take the long way around. So we experienced that my first time in Costa Rica. Heavy rains came, it washed out the main road. So we had to take a long detour to get back, to our hotel, which we were supposed to have been back at 7 o'clock. We didn't get back to midnight. But then again, what do you do? Because you don't know if the rain is going to cause the road to wash out or when. I mean, those are just Mother Nature doing her thing.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll tell you, there is something that really did surprise me, at least during the season that I was there. We had the windows open the whole time with no screens.
Yeah.
And there was there was a couple bugs. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I just couldn't believe how open you can just leave everything. Amazing. Like, I'm thinking bugs are everywhere. Like they're worse here in the summer. They're worse here. I guess the bugs here are like, we only got so much time. We got to hurry up. There, the bugs are like,
Yes.
yeah, we got all year. We're just going to chill out in the jungle. You know, it's like, I don't know.
Well, it's
But
interesting you bring that up because when I stayed in the super nice resort, the Arenal Springs Resort, um, the bathrooms is open. There's not, you got AC in your room, but the bathroom, is part of that AC. However, the window is just a screen. There's no glass. It's just a screen. So you got that fresh air coming in. And again, insects can come in if they want to. And this is a luxurious hotel, but this is the way the life is.
yeah, and even in the Springs Resort, because we ended up, I won't tell the whole story, but we ended up using all the amenities in the Springs Resorts, which is I've been told billionaires go there. The Kardashians rented the place out, so we were in this place. We worked it out. little travel miracle magic. We sprinkled some,
Fairy dust. Well, you never know what you'll receive if you do not ask. That's my thing. Ask. They may you may be a big sign that says absolutely no, but if you ask and if you're highly favored like me, sometimes you get through those open doors.
Well, we were going to pay for a pass. We technically we weren't supposed to do that. Like you had to do another thing in order to get this, use the amenities. And then we had agreed that we left, came back, and she ended up comping the whole thing. She's like, no.
Yeah.
So we had it. But what I was going to say is on the spa level where we were, it's open. Mm-hmm. Like it's a roof and it's open. Like there's no screens, no nothing. It's open. Like birds. I mean, incredible. Like incredible.
Well, if you recall, I told you I love getting spas there because the massages and the facials and the body, everything they do is phenomenal. And like I say, it's open, it's in paradise, and you can hear the birds chirping, and it's
so good.
I mean, yeah, it's such a treat. I mean,
yeah,
just thinking about it now warms my heart too. Thinking, just laying there getting a massage, and like I say, you outdoor, you just got a little canopy over you, and that's it.
I'm telling you, like. Earlier today on the show, when I was sharing some of the video, I just had goosebumps, chills all over, like good, like, just reliving it and just going back and just experiencing these moments, these just amazing.
Well, Costa Rica is also known for its adventure. So what adventurous thing did you do other than hike? I know you had to try something out, Austin.
We ziplined.
No way. Will you tell us a little bit about the zip lining? What was it like? I've never zip lined.
Well, we zip lined through the jungle. They surreal. I mean, that's the best I can tell you. Surreal. First of all, I wanted to do 7, which means you zip line through 7 zip lines, but they only had 12 available. And I think it was like $15 or $16 US dollars more. So I'm like, let's do it. And I have ziplined before on like these small courses. I've never gone up to this level ever. I've never, and matter of fact, when I originally thought about it, I'm like, yeah, maybe you do like 3 zip lines or whatever. No, this was 12. And you had to get on they call it the limo. It's this I have video of this. It's a tractor and you sit in the back in this like, covered cart, like you sit back there and you're just driving and it's like bumpy roads, dirt roads. Yeah. You're just and you're of course you're going up in elevation, and again it's just an experience. When you get up there, you start by going up a tower, and then it starts. And I'm telling you, one of them was because there's a fear factor. I mean, you're very high up. And you're on a cable, and when you leave the platform, some of these things you're like a bullet. I mean, some of them are a little slower, and actually, you can get, if you don't know what you're doing, you can get stuck. So
yeah, I've seen some people get stuck. So
it's but what the one thing I never did before, because I was used to like the ones that I did. I had only ziplined once before, but you kind of use this to steer.
Yeah.
They had this special, a special like glove, if you will. It's not a glove. You don't put your hand in it, but it's more like a sheath. You kind of put this part's open, and you put your hand on the cable like this, and you're kind of holding back here, and they kind of train you like, you know, how to sit. And so when you shoot out in some of these, you're really fast, but some people will, if they get scared, they'll put too much
They'll
pressure,
grip it.
and they can, because some of these longer zip lines, like one of them was 1 kilometer long. One
Wow.
kilometer long.
Mm.
You're going all through the trees. You're literally ripping through the trees. And one of them was right over the waterfall, the La Fortuna water, not right over it, but
you can see it.
It's like off to your left. And you see that, and then you see this, like you're headed toward this circle in the trees. And I was telling DJ when I went toward that, you know, I'm all calm and cool, and then I didn't realize once I got out of that little hole in the trees, there was a whole nother section. I mean, you could see how high you were up in the air. And I like for 1 second, I'm like, I had to like get back into the moment and, you know, and just keep my cool, and then make sure I had enough speed to get up to the platform, which I did, you know, because it's, you know, I just kept the speed up, because otherwise some of the longer ones, they sag a little bit.
So you need that momentum to keep going up that hill, kind of.
Yeah, because like you're going fast, and then it goes up to get to the platform on some of them. So you got to have enough to crest up onto the platforms. And it was amazing. It was, even, you know, maybe not for everybody, but really, like, you know, even as of today, I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, man, think about how high you are up, and you're just hanging from a cable.
And next time you wear the little GoPro on top of your head to film it.
Yeah, but I got some great video. I think I shared one earlier. I got some great video. We can share. I don't know what time do we have? What time are we done? I'm good. Do you want me to share that zip lining?
We can. And while you're getting that loaded, can you talk while you load it? I want to know what tips you would suggest to folks, since this was your first time. What would you tell someone for their first time experience to expect when they go to Costa Rica? What kind of learning curves, maybe something to help them?
I would say you want to build as much certainty as you can when you're going to do a new place. And I would be talking to DJ. I would definitely reach out to you and create certainty. You're going to another country. There's variables. There's things you need to know, and knowing those variables are, you know, that's important. And then I always talk about this in life and travel. It's have a plan and be flexible, and be ready to throw your plan out when you need to, because there's times you need to throw the plan out. If you're too stuck in the plan, you could cause something, you know, something not so good to happen. So you just be flexible. The other thing that I do, DJ, whenever I travel, like I said, I find the coffee shop because I can work there. They have Wi-Fi, and there's people there that I will meet and talk to. And I inevitably meet a local, and they tell me something. And then the second thing is I always, my rule of thumb is not all the case. I'm either in before the sun sets, or I'm traveling back. Right. Unless I sign up for a night walk or something like that. For me, I avoid bars and all that stuff, especially if I'm solo or just with a friend. Like if you're with a group and you're going out socially, you know, that's good. But just for me, being in a strange area, like you know, the freaks come out at night. Have you ever heard that before?
They do.
So I think that's true across the board. And I'm not saying don't go out at night, but what I'm saying, for me, unless I have something planned or I know what I'm doing, or, you know, I want to avoid being out at night as much as I can.
And they tell you that in Costa Rica, to be careful being out after dark, unless you are on a tour or with a group of people, because, you know, anywhere you go, there's going to be some crime, some riffraff, there's going to be something. So you know, especially in a foreign country, you have to be extra precautious, because you know what? They look at us, they know we tourists, we're easy mark. I mean, you know, someone wanted to rob you, you know, you're going to have a cell phone. That's $1,000 right there. You know, they could make money off that. Yeah. So they're not so much after your credit cards and your cash. It's the things they can pawn really quick, get that fast cash.
Yeah, and the thing is, like when I was in town, we walked around after dark. Like if I know the surroundings, and the one thing that I do, and this is relative to people, but if there's a shady character, what I do is I look at them. So I'll make strong eye contact with them, and then I look away and I don't look back. I want them to know that I'm present, and I want them to see like strength in my eyes, and especially if I'm walking. I have confidence. I'm walking with confidence. My shoulders are back, and I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. I'm on purpose, but I want them to know that there's a presence here. And I think that's even if you're a woman, it's important to be able to exude confidence no matter what. And I do that. I try to do that no matter when I'm traveling. I want my body language to be conducive with. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident, and that you want to help me. You want to do good things for me. You don't want to anything else is not welcome. That's kind of the attitude that I have. And you know what? It always happens. It always happens. There's always like this woman gifting us this $1 billion estate. Whatever the spring. So it's just really great. Yeah, because actually we had something happen. When we parked to go to the Hot Spring River, they have guys there. And if I wasn't with Tim, I would have easily fallen for this. And it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not terrible if you do this, but he was on the road. He had a vest on, a reflector vest, and he's charging people to park. Technically, it's free to park. They don't have to pay. But he looks official. He talks official. So Tim was like, yeah. And Tim actually, he's okay with, like, usually gives them money. Like, gives them a couple colones as their currency. But he wanted like $10 US. And Tim was like, no, we're not giving you money. We'll give it to you later. He just kind of blew him off. And we didn't pay, but other people paid. So
they didn't know.
They didn't know. And I like Tim's philosophy. Be okay. They're out there. Be okay giving them some money. But if you feel like this is a little shady, or if you're by yourself, just give them the $10 and don't worry about it. But these are kind of things that happen when you travel. I mean, these are things I wouldn't have known, like I said, because you're in a strange place. He's got a vest on. He's in front of the resort. He looks official, but he's not official. So these kinds of things happen. Yeah.
Well, what about the customs? How long did it take you to get through customs? Leaving and coming, was it a breeze? Was it a process? What did you think of their entry and exit?
For me, it was a breeze. Tim had a situation which he hasn't filled me in on yet, but the woman, I even, because he was next to me, and they were questioning him like crazy. Like, I was like, boom, in and out. He was questioned. Something happened to him, which he didn't share with me yet, but I'll have to find out. He got hung up. But I think it's the same thing. I walk. I had a hat. I take my hat off.
Show respect.
Yeah, just you're here. Like, pass me through. I'm here's my pass. That's it. Your body language, all that matters. All of that matters. And I think when you travel, and I've been to some places, like you gotta own it. You gotta be confident and own who you are.
So overall, you had a great trip. Even your little delay in Hollywood, Florida, was not all lost. I mean, you got some great footage there. You got to jump into the ocean.
I'm blessed. I am blessed. I'm grateful, and I want everyone to have this experience, whether it's travel or life. Create that breakthrough in your life. Live more in the moment. Love the people you're around. Form new relationships like DJ and I are forming. And, just trust that when everything's going wrong, somehow it's going right. The best thing I can tell you, everything is wrapped with polarity, everything. So the crap you think is not going right, it's going wrong, it's about to get right, because there's going to be another miracle on the other side that you haven't accounted for. And your job is to feel the uncertainty, but then let it marinate over to the other side. Let it transition over to the other side. Transmute it, and you'll be amazed. If you just allow that process, you will let life in, and you'll be blessed beyond measure.
Well, also, don't you have a book where folks can read about that?
This book here, Flashpoint?
Yeah, show them that and tell a little bit about it, please.
Flashpoint, manifesting the moment of your big breakthrough. It's a flashpoint journey. Flashpoint is the moment of your big breakthrough. It's a moment of, it's a surreal moment of validation and clarity when you know when change is happening. Every cell in your body, I say every cell in your body responds to it. It's not just the head going, "Ooh, that's a great idea." It's not that. It's like a whole, and sometimes it's in a flash. Sometimes it's over a period where it's like a bigger burst happening where you're processing something, and then wham, it's like, oh my gosh.
Like the seed has been planted, and it takes a little while for it to pop out of the ground.
Exactly. And it's that maybe the flashpoint, you could say, is when it first comes out of the ground, and it's a journey, and it's polarity, and it's living life more fully in the moment while you have this vision of this breakthrough, being planned and then unplanned, being open to the plot twists, the unexpected, where miracles manifest and come to fruition.
Well, I know you've had lots of people to attend your events and have breakthroughs, and I believe you have an upcoming documentary or show or something showing some of these breakthroughs so people would understand kind of about real life scenarios, how your book has helped people.
Yes, tomorrow night we have the Flashpoint documentary, and it's going to have 4 stories in there, incredible stories of people that have lived this. Now I see the chats. I was in the private chat. Anilda Davia. No, wait, hold on. I need to learn Spanish. Anilda Davila. I think I got it right. It right. But actually, Anilda's in our Spotlight series. She's in the chat there. She's got a book coming out too, and we showcase these people in the documentary and the Flashpoint Spotlight series, and via a summit. That's tomorrow night at 8:30. These stories will touch you. These people embody Flashpoint. They embody the journey of turnaround, breakthrough, and these stories are powerful. Tomorrow night at 8:30, I just put the link in the chat. You can join. All you got to do is click. Isn't that great? All you have to do is be in front of the computer and click at 8:30, and you can watch it. It's a great thing.
So, Austin, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight. Any final words or shares that you would like to give the audience? Anything personal about your business? You're a life and business coach. I mean, any other travel tips? Any final thoughts that you would like to share?
I would say avoid overthinking. Make a decision. Make a decision without knowing all the answers, because people, we can be void of a decision because we're seeking answers that are 5 steps down the road. Like a lot of people live this way. Once this happens, then I will. That's not a decision. That's a postponement. A decision is, I am going to travel here. You don't know the date. You don't know how you're going to get there, but you write. It's it's more of a declaration. It's more of a planting your flag. I am going to do this. It's not. It's not like when the moon, the stars, and this happens. It's I'm doing it, and that's part of it. And that's what, like when I go to jump in the ocean, I can't think about the water being 42 degrees.
No, you got to take that out of your mindset, or it'll stop you.
I need to get my body ready, and I need to go in. Otherwise, I won't do it. And I think a lot of us sit on the back. There was a guy sitting on the bank of the ocean. I thought he was done. I was asking him to film it. He's like, "Oh, I can't." He's like, I'm going in. And I could see him. Like he's stewing, overthinking, and causing himself unnecessary nervousness instead of just doing it, And I'm not saying do that with everything, but with most things, like you just make the decision. And you trust the road is going to take you, meander you in ways that you haven't planned on. Like that's part of it. But each step of it is to make you better, stronger, more flexible, higher emotional intelligence, able to cope and handle with what's coming your way as you grow.
Well, also, what happens on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Power of Pure Presence every Sunday at 10 a.m., where we help you to live life more fully now as life is unfolding. To harness power of pure presence is to live in the moment. It's, all of this, everything I just said, you can throw that out. I don't mean like literally throw it out, but what I mean is like, if we're not in the moment, none of that matters.
And can you put into chat how people can contact you, reach you, watch your shows?
Yeah.
I know they're on Facebook and YouTube, and you have your own website in case someone would want to schedule an appointment with you because they may need a life coach or business coach because they're ready to turn their life around and seek new opportunities. I think you're the perfect person to help someone. You've been a great inspiration and mentor to me, so I have to give you kudos for what you do.
No, I appreciate it. My website's the best thing, and I know I still have a lot to give. I haven't even scratched the surface yet of what can happen in people's lives just from this space that we've created. It's miraculous, and we're all vehicles. We're all, right. And I think the journey is to discover. And that's what we talk about: is to really discover your gifts and give them. Like I really think that's the journey of life. What are your gifts? Discover them through, do the unlearning. You got to unlearn, get to your gifts, and then figure out the best way to give those gifts. Just give them wherever you're planted. Not overthink and do this and do that. Start now. You go and do mission. You go and do mission work in Costa Rica. I want to do that too. So it's just get busy living or get busy dying. This is the Shawshank Redemption. There you go.
Well, Austin, before I let you go, I want to honor you with a quick video clip that kind of captures, pure presence, flashpoint, and all those wonderful things. So I'm just going to play a little short clip, you guys, to honor Austin for his time. And I really appreciate you joining me tonight, Austin. Thank you so much. So hang tight. Don't go nowhere. Would you like to tell people what those three icons, I know the passport, that's got you to Costa Rica, but they may not realize what those other three icons represent?
The light bulb, the Thomas Edison light bulb, is a staple for our show. Flashpoint, which is Thomas Edison has said it has failed 10,000 times. And he said, no, I didn't fail. I successfully created 10,000 ways that the light bulb could not be discovered, invented. And then the hourglass, which I have here, which you have the hourglass. I don't know if you have it there, but I have it here.
Yes, I have the official.
Yeah, you have the official
pure presence.
Yeah,
hourglass.
You are blessed. That is a special item you have.
Yes.
But we have the hourglass, which is a representation to live in the moment. Really, I won't get into all of it, but just to live life more fully now as a constant physical symbol to remind us to live life more fully now and to live inspired. And they had the bell. So we used the bell as a highlight moment, a learning moment, a highlight moment, an aha moment, a flashpoint moment. And we use that bell as a part of our programming and live events and different things. These are symbols, that we resonate.
Like the Liberty Bell, represents freedom.
The Liberty Bell represents freedom. Yeah, actually, I have it here. I'll just show. They have the Liberty Bell right here. This is a part of a run that I did in Philly, but there's the Liberty Bell. So it's a symbol of liberty. Yeah, liberty and freedom. Oh, by the way, what was really cool, they were talking about liberty. There was a sign in La Fortuna, and it said Liberty, which was also the name of my rescue dog that I rehomed. But that's the Liberty Bell. Yep. So, this has been wonderful. Don't forget, you could also show the zip line if you want. It's only a minute.
Where's that? Is it in here?
Put it in the studio there, yeah. And then we can say goodbye to everyone. And thank you so much.
That's not that. Oh, I see. I had to find it, Austin. I have so much going on in my screen.
You're doing great. You're doing great, DJ. Let's give DJ some love. She did a great job.
Here we go.
Listen to that noise. That's all the zip. Here's the trees I was talking about. Look at that distance.
Hello. Again.
See, that's the scary part.
Woo!
That's Warren. His name's Warren. Good man.
Wow. Awesome.
I think that's it. I had some other clips. I have a whole video I did on the zip lining experience. I got video editing to do, and I'll be sharing those things. That experience right there, about a second before I came in, my composure was like, I was like a second where I just kind of was like, I got a little freaked out. I was out of the moment. And then boom, I was like, I got this.
You got this. That's right.
In half. And that thing was a kilometer long, that zip line. So amazing.
Well, thank you again so much, Austin. You know, it's an honor and privilege to work beside you and learn from you. So I'm very grateful, and I would love to have you back on my show anytime and spread more cheer and tell more adventures. And hopefully everybody will watch The Power of Pure Presence Sundays at 10 a.m. because yours truly here is one of the sponsors, because I believe it's the essence of traveling.
Amen to that. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye, Austin.
God bless.
Okay, Royals, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate you. And you got two DJs. Again, I'm learning how to use the systems to make sure that the sound and the video quality works as it should. I have to give my sponsor, the Ladies of Leadership, Nikki Cuesta, a shout out because they sponsor me. Okay, get that going. Those are ways that you can reach me with QR codes. I'll put that up again just for a quick moment. And I'm Gallivanting Like a Royal on YouTube. I also have a website, gallivantinglikearoyal.com, that you can visit and find updates. And on Facebook, Gallivanting Like a Royal. So I'm all about gallivanting like a royal because I want you to live a royal life like me. Again, my book, Traveltude, is available on Amazon currently. This version of Traveltude is going to be available at Barnes & Noble very soon. Maybe out there now. I haven't checked. I have some upcoming books coming too, so there's a lot of opportunities coming. And if you would like to be on my show, let me know. If you would like to sponsor my show, let me know. And if you just have general questions, reach out to me. I like questions. I like comments. I like feedback. This is a learning process. I'm sharing with you how I do it because I'm not an expert. I published my book here, Traveltude, all by myself, with very little cost, pretty much zero, on Amazon.com. There's ways you can do it. There's ways you can market it. So if someone wants to write a book and they, don't want to invest a whole lot of money because they're unsure about their skill set or think it may not sell, you have a story. Tell your story. Let's get it out there. And that's about all I have for you tonight. As you know, my voice hasn't been quite that great this week. I guess I've been talking too much. But tomorrow, I hope to go to the stockyards in Fort Worth. We have the stock show in town, which is an annual event. So I'll probably have some footage for that to share with you later. And I'm going to let you close with some scenes pictures. I made a video of my experience in Costa Rica. I hope you enjoy those, and that will end the show. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for following me. I appreciate you. You're my listeners and viewers. You're what this is all about. And I cannot say enough good things about you guys. I appreciate you. And happy Sunday to you, and we'll talk later.